Hey there, it's PsycoRevolution. I'm back. Finally, I'm back, and you know what? I'm gonna bring you an audio gameplay commentary of War of the Roses. Okay. Now this game came out this week, but I've been playing it for much longer than a week. Okay. I played it a week before it came out because I had access because I pre-ordered or something. I don't know. All these crazy game developers and their schemes. I don't know, but I had access to it a week before it was released. And then I was in the closed beta for like a month or two. I don't remember if it was how long it was, but I was in that. But it had an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, that you have to agree to, so I couldn't release footage of the game or talk about it, or else they'd be like, get the hell off our beta, we hate you, because you're a lying bastard. So I had to shut my mouth until now, and now I'm talking. So, War of the Roses, what do I think about it? Well, when I was playing during the beta, I was sort of down in the dumps about it. It was quite frustrating and angering during the beta, but it's a lot less frustrating now. During the beta, they didn't have a lot of the things that were integral to the game, like player collision, so you could just like run through people while sword fighting them, so that didn't really make sense, and the game wasn't fun. But they fixed that, and now we have a final product. So, what do I think? Well, if I had to explain it to somebody, I would just say that, hey, it's Call of Duty set in medieval times with swords and bows, okay? That's basically what they were going for, and it's a completely valid way to describe it, because that's what they're going for, okay? There's no hiding that they've got, like, perks that are named the same. Sleight of hand, that's a perk in here. They got basically the same structure of unlocks, the same sort of loading screens, everything. I mean, it looks like Call of Duty, okay? And that's what they're going for, and I think they sort of succeeded because it's sort of addicting, and I hate it at the same time. So that's Call of Duty for you. The difference between this and Call of Duty, though, is I think I could say that it takes more skill in the sense that you can't just pick up any weapon and expect to kill people with it easily. You really need to learn the weapon and learn the lengths and everything, because in this game the hit detection is immaculate. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. I mean, sometimes lag will get out there, but when it all works, hit detection is amazing in this, because, I mean, if you've got a halberd like I have in this gameplay, I've got to hit them with the end of it, or else I'm going to do diddly squat damage, okay? If I'm beating them with the staff part of the halberd, it's not going to do any damage. So I have to make sure that I'm at the correct distance to where I'm going to hit them when I swing. If you played Warband or Mountain Blade, any of those, it's basically the same fighting, attacking, and blocking structure as in Mountain Blade, and that's sort of something I always wanted. I wanted to see what Mountain Blade would be like if they had sort of a AAA graphics engine and sort of team behind them, because Mountain Blade is sort of indie, and the graphics are definitely nothing to be proud of. So I sort of wondered what this game, Mountain Blade, would be if you just pumped it up with money and juice and turned it into basically this game. So this game is basically Mountain Blade meets Call of Duty. And if you like either of those, you might like this game. It's not going to be for everyone, and you can't just step into the game and expect to win. It's really, you're not going to be going 40-0 or something. You're not getting AC 130s or anything in this game. You've got to really earn every kill you get, and it's tough sometimes, and sometimes it's really, really angering when you fail, just like Call of Duty. So the highs are high and the lows are low, but if you really commit to it and you want to try and get good, it's a really rewarding experience, because you really do feel like you earned every kill you get, because it takes hard work and, you know, knowledge to get a kill. And there's melee weapons, there's also crossbows and bows. I'm not a fan of the crossbow, and they're sort of annoying because you get insta-killed a lot by them. The way the game works is you sword fight. When you're sword fighting, you usually get bled. It happens most of the time if you're losing. I don't know what the percentages or numbers is, but sometimes you get hit, you'll start to bleed, and you basically have 10 seconds to bandage, or else you'll bleed out. And the health doesn't regenerate in this game. I mean, I think there's a buff that will very slowly regenerate health for a limited amount of time, but you're not going to be regenerating health. You're not going to leave an encounter and just be ready to attack somebody else. So if you take damage during a fight, you're going to need to step aside, get behind some cover, and bandage yourself. It takes about 4 or 5 seconds, and get yourself back up to full health. And also, if you're bleeding, you need to bandage or else you'll bleed out and die. And I believe I'm using a perk which allows me to see when enemies are bleeding out. So you'll see sometimes if I make someone bleed, I'll just sort of not attack them and just sort of watch them as they struggle for oxygen and die slowly as I whip out my so you can just get killed with the sword, or you can bleed out, or you can get insta-killed, which is basically massive damage, which kills you instantly, which can be quite annoying sometimes, but also quite funny because there's ragdoll physics. So you might get lanced by a horseman. There's horses. You can get a lance and run around. You might get lanced by a horseman and instant killed like I did. It can be annoying, but it's also sort of funny. You can also get insta-killed by a bow or a crossbow if you get shot in the face. And, yeah, you know, that would happen if you were shot in the face, so that's acceptable. So, the crossbow, there's sort of a mini-game to reload it faster. With the bow, you just pull it back. There's a perk. When I use my archer, I try and go for speed, so I have sleight of hand, which increases the passive reload, and then also I have a thing to increase the speed while I'm aimed with my bow. And I use the quickest bow. But there's 3 different bows. You can get a bow that takes longer to pull back, but it's more accurate and more damaging. And there's only one crossbow. But you can change the reload speed. And you can change, just like with every sword or bow or arrow, whatever, you can change all types of things on the weapon, like the kind of blade, the sort of pommel, everything. And it all affects how the weapon will work, if it'll be faster, slower, more damaging, better against piercing or whatever. There's tons of customization in this, and it's going to take a long time for you to wrap your head around all of it and figure out what works best. I'm still working on figuring out what works best because they have tweaked a lot since the beta as far as weapons go, so I'm using weapons that I didn't use in the beta, which are now feasible for me to use, like this halberd. I never really used it in the beta, but I'm using it now and trying to learn this class and get better at this class because I haven't been playing the full release very long, so I'm still learning, just as a lot of other people are. So, if you like sort of the Call of Duty experience of leveling up and sort of that grind that's in this game, so if you hate that, you're not going to really like this that much. But if you also like the Mount and Blade sort of hand-to-hand combat, it's basically the same type. You click and move in the same direction to slash in that direction. It's the same control scheme as Mount and Blade. So, if you like either of those games, I would check it out. Me personally, I would recommend it, but you need to understand that it's not for everyone. So, take it for what it's worth. So, I'm sure I'll make more War of the Roses gameplays, commentaries, talking about more what I use and some tips that I come up with along the way. So, if you enjoyed this, give it a like, and I'll know that you want to see more. If not, take a shit and mail it to me. Till I see you next time, remember to stay frickin' sexy. Oh my god, no!